Hello, my name is Matthew Rupp here in Wichita. I made a spreadsheet of all not all the builders in Wichita, but most of them. Let's see, you guys, Perfection, H&H, Nice, Craig, Sharp, Comfort, Bob Cook, Warren, Sanders, quite a few of them. Anyway, my goal was to compare all these different builders in all the important areas when it comes to ranking well on Google. It was real interesting to me. I've done this for heating and air, plumbing, electrician, several industries here in Wichita, and helped a lot of local businesses see better results. And the home builders it's really amazing to me because they're like almost all in the same boat. Everybody's sites are just truly beautiful. I mean, almost everybody. There's a couple that are okay, but almost everybody's sites are beautiful. Clear contact info, not really. You kind of have to look for that. The name and address and phone number, that on every page, that was on almost none of them, which is important for Google. Video, nobody had video on their site, which is funny. You look at like heating and air, and there's like almost every heating and air company has a video on the home page, which it keeps people on your site longer. And the longer they're on your site, the more you're going to build trust, the more likely they are to reach out. So helpful navigation, I just put okay for all of them. As I get into this a little bit, you'll see what I mean. I mean, nobody really has helpful navigation as far as the builders here in Wichita that I looked at. Addressing customer pain points, another area no one even came close to. The yellow here really kind of breaks down the important areas. Like I said, when it comes to ranking well on Google, the next one is the Google My Business profile. Google has a free profile where you can go in, update your pictures, your hours, have your reviews there. I mean, just kind of a home base for Google where you can tell Google who you are, what you do, where you do it, and who you do it for. And I was really amazed. It looks like Perfection Builders has more photos than anybody. They have 57. Bob Cook has 53. Sanders Lifestyle has 47. With the exception of those, I mean, almost nobody has photos. And I get it. Home building is a lot different than heating and air, than a plumber, windshield repair. I understand those are entirely different animals altogether. Um, different customers, different everything. I get that, but still, I mean, there's, of course, any business owner today understands the value of being at the top of Google for their industry, and home builders are certainly no different. My wife and I just went through this ourselves, about a year and a half ago. I definitely did not want to build a new home. I wanted to buy an existing one. She wanted to build a new one, and we spent like a year, dealing with the specials and looking at open houses and the parade to homes and talking to people. And so it's a process I am familiar with, and had some challenges myself, trying to figure out what was the best decision. Reviews, another important factor when it comes to ranking well on Google, and another area that like no builder is really trying at all in this area, or is making it a priority. Perfection has more than anybody with 6 reviews. Like Patent, Termite, and Past is another example. Is a client of mine. I think they have like 48, like 42 or something like that. So I mean, reviews on Google make a real big difference. Your website being mobile friendly. Yours is. A few of them in town are not. Links are a very important ranking factor. This just tells you the more websites you have linking to yours, the more credibility you're going to have. The more Google looks at other websites linking to yours as basically signals of trust. So I could go on and on. In a nutshell, I want to work with one home builder here in Wichita and just help them just crush it when it comes to that first page on Google. That's my goal. So feel free to take a look at this spreadsheet. If you have any questions, what citations are, what site speed is, by all means, feel free to give me a shout, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Content is an enormous opportunity for every builder in Wichita. And the biggest thing I notice in looking at all these builders' websites, home builders and custom home builders, is content is such an opportunity. And when I say content, that's things like a good about page, like a good history of the company, or individual bios of your team can make a real good connection to Wichita and where they went to school, or you know, if they have kids or where their husband works or wife works, for example. But this is an example of just, I threw down real quick of some examples of helpful content. And that is just what would help your customer? What kind of questions do you get asked all the time? That's good content for your website. What school district is this house in? What is the timeline like for building this kind of house versus this one? You know, just what to expect. What all goes into specials? Talk about covenants. Talk about, well, we thought about buying land by Keachai or Bel Air or by Lake Afton first and then building in a couple years later. You know, the pros and cons of that. You know, just custom building versus buying an existing home. You know, some of the pros and cons of that. So this would have potentially enormous impact on any home builder's website here in Wichita, on their traffic, their rankings, their online presence. And we get into some more of the red flags that you can look at that you might need to be aware of. I don't want to bore you with this. I thought this was interesting. Looks like your website's been around for 17 years and 3 months, and the longest one in Wichita, 18 years, is the Niece. I assume that's how you say it. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully it was interesting. If this, in a nutshell, is why these companies are ranking as well or as poorly as they are in Google here in Wichita. If you'd like to be the one builder that just crushes it when it comes to Google, then just reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions, and we'll have a chat and see if we're a good fit. Thanks. Have a great day.